I tracked every dollar I spent for 60 days. Not with an app that rounds things up or sorts them into neat little categories. I mean every single transaction, every coffee, every subscription, every tap of a card. What I found was not a spending problem. It was a system, an invisible system, that had been draining $11,000 a year from my account, and I had no idea it was even there. My name is Alex. I am 34 years old. I work as a UX designer in Austin, Texas, and I earn $82,000 a year. On paper, I should have been saving plenty. In reality, I was barely breaking even, and the reason had nothing to do with willpower or discipline. It had everything to do with 3 invisible spending layers that most people never see. Today, I am going to walk you through what those layers are, how I found them, and exactly what happened when I started peeling them back. The first thing I noticed when I looked at my 60-day data was how many small charges I could not even remember making. $3 here, $7 there, a $4 energy drink at a gas station I barely recalled stopping at. This is what researchers call the digital payment pain gap. A 2026 study, published in the National Center for Biotechnology Information, found that paying with digital methods, tapping your phone, using a saved card online, reduces what psychologists call the pain of paying, compared to handing over physical cash. When you tap a phone, the transaction feels almost imaginary. Your brain does not register it the same way. But here's the part nobody talks about. These micro leaks do not just cost you a few dollars. They add up into a pattern that trains your brain to stop paying attention entirely. So I ran a subscription audit. I pulled up my bank statements and my credit card and went line by line. What I found confirmed something. A 2026 West Monroe survey had already documented the average American spends $219 a month on subscriptions, but estimates they spend only $86. That is a 2.5 times gap between what we think we pay and what we actually pay. My own gap was worse. I was paying for 3 streaming services I had not opened in months, a cloud storage plan I forgot I upgraded, and a meditation app I used exactly twice. According to Self Financial's 2026 report, Americans waste $384 a year on forgotten subscriptions, and nearly 60% of people have at least one subscription they are not using at all. If this is already making you rethink your own spending, hit subscribe. We decode money psychology like this every week. The average American wastes $384 a year on subscriptions they forgot they had. But that is just the surface layer. The second invisible layer goes much deeper into the daily routines you think are just normal life. I call these comfort anchors spending habits that are wired so deeply into your daily routine that they feel like necessities, not choices. For me, it was ordering food delivery 3 or 4 times a week. Not because I could not cook, but because by 6 in the evening, after a full day of design work, the default was always the same. Open the app, pick something, tap order. This is default bias, a concept that won Richard Thaler his Nobel Prize in economics. When a behavior is already set as your default, you keep doing it unless something forces you to actively choose otherwise. The path of least resistance costs money, and you do not feel it because it is just what you do. Budgeting apps do not fix this. They actually make it worse. They give you the illusion of control by categorizing your spending after the fact, but they do nothing to interrupt the default behavior in the moment. You still tap the same button. You just get a nicer pie chart afterward. Drop a comment. If you have caught yourself doing this, you are not alone. So I tried something different. I started meal prepping on Sunday evenings. Not elaborate chef-level cooking, just basic meals for the first half of the week. A 2026 survey of over 2,500 respondents found that people who plan their meals save an average of $47 per person per month. For me, the savings were even bigger. My food delivery spending dropped from over $600 a month to under $300 just by changing the default. I did not need more discipline. I needed a different starting point. Then, I automated the savings. Every payday, a fixed amount moved straight into a separate account before I could even see it in my checking balance. The money I was no longer spending on delivery and forgotten subscriptions, I set that to transfer automatically. No decision needed. No willpower required. The new default was saving, not spending. If you have ever checked your bank account and thought, where did it all go? This is why. Because the third layer is not about subscriptions or food delivery. It is about who you think you need to be. The day my coworker showed up with a new Tesla, I caught myself browsing car listings that evening. I was not unhappy with my car. It ran fine. But suddenly it felt like it was not enough, like I was falling behind. That feeling has a name. Daniel Kahneman called it reference point dependence. You do not evaluate your life based on what you actually need. You evaluate it based on what the people around you have. The Federal Reserve's 2025 survey of consumer finances found that households in the top income quartile, who still report feeling financially stressed, spend 63% more on status-driven goods than their peers at the same income level. They earn enough. They spend on identity. And the last layer is the one that costs you the most, but you will never see it on any bank statement. I had a friend named Monica, a nurse practitioner in Chicago, making a solid income. Every time she got a raise, her lifestyle expanded to match it. New apartment, new car lease, nicer restaurants. She called it treating herself. Paco de Leon, a financial expert featured on NPR's Life Kit, calls this the hedonic treadmill, the cycle where each upgrade becomes your new normal, and satisfaction resets to zero. If you are still watching, you are already thinking differently about money. Tap that bell so you do not miss next week's deep dive. The invisible spending system is not about being bad with money. It is about defaults, routines, and identity signals that operate below your awareness. Once you see them, you cannot unsee them. After 60 days, here is what I know. Layer 1, microleaks cost me about $3,000 a year in transactions I could not even remember. Layer 2, comfort anchors, was draining another $4,000 through defaults I never questioned. Layer 3, identity costs accounted for the rest, roughly $4,000 in spending driven by comparison, not need. $11,000. Gone. Every single year. Not because I was careless, but because the system is designed to be invisible. If you want to start peeling back your own layers, here is one step you can take today. Pull up your last 30 days of transactions and highlight every charge under $10 that you do not specifically remember. Just that. Do not cancel anything yet. Just see it, because awareness is the first crack in the system. Next week, we are breaking down another hidden money pattern, one that affects how you think about raises, bonuses, and windfalls. If you do not want to miss it, subscribe and hit the bell. I will see you there.